Hey y'all, I'm just second day doing my video, which is kind of strange, but this is going to be on a totally different subject. And I'm sure if you are somebody who makes goals and if you're someone who journals, you will probably be familiar with this method. Fortunately, I only learned about this maybe 5 or 6 years ago by a counselor, which was very helpful at the time, and she really made an impact in my life. Unfortunately, I can't say her name, but she might not ever see these videos, but I would hope that somewhere she's doing well and just that she doesn't realize how much of an impact she made on me, that this is something that I have to do every 2 years. Um, and that's just because of the timing for me. I am kind of slow at achieving my goals only because I'm not so ambitious. And when I think of what I really want to do in the future, I don't make a checklist necessarily and have to fulfill it within a short period of time. I usually give myself a longer stretch of time to do things because now I have different responsibilities, and I don't think that at my not age necessarily, but at my responsibilities and at my well being, in part, it probably takes me a little bit more time to fulfill what I want to do. So, on that note, I will show you what I'm doing, and it is a vision board. Now, it's not anything new to a lot of people, especially if you're artists. And as you can tell, unfortunately, I cleaned those off because my son didn't like the eyes, so I had to lighten it up a little bit, but the red doesn't go away. But I do cartoons. I also do things that have to do with nature. Read to the Dr. Seuss, um, the pen and marker and of the seahorse. So there's a lot of different artwork that I do. It really is generational. My father was an artist. My mom can draw, and it's one of those things that helps me to express myself. One of the things that actually was helping me is because I'm a visual learner. Making a vision board, which is placing all the things that you want for yourself, things that doesn't have to happen this year, but something that makes you happy, um, even if it doesn't make any sense to someone else. So basically, you start with a blank sheet, you look at it, you see basically how you're going to frame it, but not just on the blank piece of paper. You have a magazine or a book that means a lot to you, and I don't necessarily say this is the most, you know, educational book. Not for me personally. The Bible would be. However, I won't cut up my Bible unless it's an old Bible and not being used at all. So I might write a scripture on there, by the way, because I do use marker and pen to circle or highlight something. But I am using Cosmopolitan, and this is an old magazine, December 2015, which is kind of funny. But I was found, I found it in a friend's apartment. Wasn't using it. It was in perfect condition, wrapped up in plastic, just never used, never opened. So I figured it would help me. Now I'm like halfway through the magazine, and I have all these scrap pieces of paper on the floor, but I have been cutting out pictures, things that I don't necessarily have to use all of the pictures, especially depending on the poster, because I started using smaller posters. When we first started, it was the big major poster, which was very helpful. You could see a lot more, you could write more, but I find that if I use a smaller um, poster, it makes me think clearer, and I kind of condense, instead of like big dreams, I condense it to the major ones that I want to fulfill short term. Um, Sometimes the long terms are on there as well, but when I say long term, I mean like 5 years in the future. Otherwise, it would be within the year that I would like to fulfill it. But like I said, every other year is when I usually do the vision board, or about a year and a half mark. has a tendency to be that time period. There are some things that I have um, gotten the pictures of, but also there are things that are words that you find, and I know it looks like it's kind of crazy, you know, when people use those little letters and they make those words out of different letters. That's not what I do. No, no, no. I find words, okay, or numbers that correlate to what I'm looking for. So this is, if you see it, motiva, right? Which it comes from what? Motivation. And there's a lot of pictures that I can use, or the words. C goes with my middle initial, and it's roses, which is my title, right? The singing flower. But the 4 goes with this, which is actually how old I'm going to be this year. Um, then there's other things like tack, which might say, like, put a pin in it, tack. Um, things to do. I take you. Able. Restoring. It doesn't have to be big words. It can be small ones. It can be the letters of the words if you want. Um, something that I found here is also your list. And in favor of that one song, what are you waiting for? So those are just some of the things, okay? Um, and like I said, I may not use all of them. But something I also do is instead, you could use your stick of glue, but I seem to find that this glue works better. Just for, I don't know, I guess it's my reasoning. I don't know why. Easier to move around, maneuver the papers after they're wet still. Um, so I think that's what it is. I always like to adjust things to make sure that they're kind of like even. I have a very geometrical way of things when I'm doing art. It kind of almost has to be even. Even though you can see all the chaos behind me, that's basically because the things that I have are proportionate. But if you look, there's always a certain space that I use, and I don't really go past that. There's certain things that I do go past, but it's usually end to end. Anyway, so basically I'll show you what I do. I'll look at the picture and I'll show you something pretty basic, okay? Pretty, like I said, but basic because it'll be just one picture. And then I want you to look at it and I want you to think about what you would take out of the picture and what you would put on your poster or on your vision board. So you would look at this, and it's a beautiful young lady. She's got very cool clothes, right? Now, if you look intensely at her eyes, she seems pretty focused, right? So though she doesn't have the same color eyes as I do, I might just look at it and say, oh, I like her makeup. Um, eyeliner, eyeshadow, thick eyebrow. Mine won't grow back. Sorry. Don't pluck your eyebrows, by the way. Then, or pluck them, but like clean them up, you know. I like her earrings, but I don't really wear big earrings. I like her nails. Mine are growing thanks to someone who's very special out there. But what might I notice? Her hair is bleach blonde, which is very pretty, but I'm no longer doing blonde hair. I like her jacket. Um, but most likely, just because this is not what I'm looking to look like, or I already do that kind of hand symbol, it's not, I mean, that motion, it's not really something that I would necessarily put on my poster. But so then I'll look at the smaller things. Is there a heart that's hanging from here. That's kind of pretty. Um, what else? World, enter, or I might flip it over and find the words here. Even small words sometimes I'll use. Depends. It would be like the saying or a particular word. Um, Secret. Not really necessarily, but maybe. Better. Routine. I like that. Life altering. So all those things, take a scissors, something that's very soft, nothing that's too pointy because you're going to be cutting a lot of things. It'll probably take you about an hour and a half to find the amount of pictures that you might want, right? And you put them, kind of want to separate them at first just to have them in a separate section. But also just keep in mind that when you're about to do your poster, you want all these things kind of like laid out. So if you have a flat surface like a desk or a table, a place that none of these things will be touched, because otherwise you got to put everything back away, which I'm going to have to do anyway. But a place that for a couple of hours you can just look at those words and rearrange them and put a picture and a word together, and you know that will be something for you to determine that you want to be able to see everything that you have. And then if you feel as though you're missing something, just go back in the magazine and look it over and find something else. You usually don't need to do more than one or two magazines, I feel. You kind of find what you're looking for, kind of. It's just not necessarily always the words that you see on the page that pop out. Okay? So if you look at this one, right? It's a young lady, pardon her behind, though she, it's okay. It's not too becoming, unbecoming, but her shoes are kind of cute. They bend. I love her hair. I love it's a long trenza, and I don't have long hair anymore. And I was like, ooh, I kind of miss ponytail. So I might take a picture that I might have a little bit of that in the picture. But I'm looking at these words, moves with you. I'm just thinking, I don't want to separate those words. I want to keep those three words together. And then all day, not the word comfort. Total flexibility. Maybe all day comfort, but I don't know. Because I don't like pressure. Sometimes I like to think and process. Walk, which is what I do all the time. I love to walk. So I might just put that there as a reminder for myself on my vision board to always walk whenever I'm stressed, whenever I'm anxious. And this other one is here. Funny. Carrie Underwood, she loves the smell of skunks. Actually, I do too. Her TV show, oh my god. She's kind of funny because she kind of has similar things that, not everything, but we have something similar. I like a jukebox. And I love Faith Hill. But she's a country singer, and Carrie Underwood's a country singer too. And I'm from Philly, so most people don't think I am a country singer buff, but I love country music. Alright, so you just look through it, see what you like, cut those portions out, save them in a container, and I will show you what it looks like when I lay everything out. I'm just thinking, y'all, sometimes you have a lot and you feel overwhelmed and you're like, I don't know if I can get through the rest of the magazine. Then do yourself a favor. Stop. You can always come back to the magazine. You're going to have plenty of time to make any corrections that you need to. So, take what you have, lay it out, and I'll show you. Make sure you do yourself a favor. whatever scraps you have, don't throw them away. Not until you're absolutely done and you're absolutely sure that you've made it the way you wanted to. Because what happens is, sometimes there's a little bit of a gap, and though I have the rest of the magazine to look at, sometimes I look back and I go, that's interesting. I didn't choose that before. I think I might use this. Go like that. Just look through the old pieces. And then as soon as you're done, then you can throw it in the recycling bin because it's paper. Or you can throw it in the trash if you have it in the plastic bag. It's not such a big deal. You're not hoarding anything just because you're keeping everything in a bag for a moment. At the end of the day, you're going to throw it away. Okay? Your vision board is just for creativity's sake. It's for you to get all the feelings out, all your concerns, all of your worries. You don't have to worry about anything and how it looks. Okay? Let me close this really quick. It gets a little bright in this room with all of these windows. I do love the fresh air, though. Notice I don't have the air conditioner on. One, because the sound is really horrible on this computer. Secondly, no, the noise from the air conditioner does not allow me to think. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the board and what I'm going to be doing. Okay, this is my son's school board. Okay, so now I have to lay it out. Okay, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. Excuse me, I had to pause that for a second because I had like a coughing match. Alright, so right here, I'm going to cut out the word convo because it's very rare that you can find something that says conversation. A conversation is very, very important to me. So, I'll take out my words first because the words are going to be, hope the window doesn't blow them away. The words are going to be very, very important in the placement. Okay? If you look at it, I can't see all of my words, so I'm going to spread them out. I'm going to turn them over. It doesn't have to be all small and all big, like I said. Okay? I want to make sure I see my words. Let's get this over here. Okay. Some words don't make any sense to you right now, and that will completely make sense to you actually, because it should make sense, because your thoughts and your feelings are all mixed up. There's nothing wrong with admitting that. There's nothing wrong with trying to figure out what you want to do. Everybody who starts off knowing what they want to do is telling themselves a lie, because you don't always know what you want. And if you say you do, you're lying. So let's not lie to ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not lie to ourselves. Okay, so the 43 is definitely going to go on here. I'm going to turn this over because, one, I've got makeup, on one side, and I want it to be kind of clean. You want to kind of not have it bent either. But I'm going to put 43 kind of right in the middle, directly in the middle. Okay, and I'm going to build around it. So 1 or 2, 3 things are going to be here. They're going to somehow link together. And then there's going to be random spots where it's like, that doesn't make any sense and doesn't correlate to the whole big picture. Because it's the things that could happen, the things that might happen, the things that don't have to happen today. They don't have to happen when everything else happens. But I would like it if they happened. And I don't celebrate Christmas. This has a football in it though, and it says, I don't know if you can see it, tis the season. So guess what? There's another one that says this season. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is this season that I am in. I'm not in last season. I'm not in last chapter. I'm in this chapter of my life. And some people are going to be in it, and some people are not going to be in this chapter. And I have love intensely for people who have been in the previous chapter. Oh, see how I'm taking this out? I don't want this anymore. so I'm just going to put that there. Already gonna start placing my pictures because these are things that I actually really do want. Okay, so I'm gonna actually slide this over. That way you can see a little bit of what I'm working with. Okay, you're not gonna see everything because as soon as I take everything out, it's gonna be moved around anyway. The young rose, the princess, Lupita. She's so beautiful. I don't know about this. A Rolls Royce is gorgeous to think of, but you know how that goes. Can't really see the picture. It's the flowers, but look at where the bottom is. It's coming out of the cracks. So you rise. You rise and you grow. I don't know if I want this anymore. That one right here. I love this saying. I almost missed it. See this? The art of you. Ah! That's so beautiful. Just that. And actually, since it's so big, I might just end up writing it with a marker somewhere. The art of you. You know? Somewhere. It's nice though. I thought of it. There are some things that will, again, not make sense. Initially, you may look at it and go, oh my gosh, what did I do that for? Why did I cut that out? I can remember this. It doesn't make any sense, does it? It's from a Victoria's Secret modeling thing. It's right at the end when the balloons go on the floor. I love that. I've always wanted to have a party where the balloons are on the floor. I don't like the smoke necessarily. And that's a champagne glass, obviously. Something about some sort of celebration or some sort of beauty will have to, some sort of glamorous experience, maybe an intense glamorous moment. You know, there's just some sort of joy that comes from knowing that you have no idea what you're doing and what you're talking about and what you really, really want. It's like, oh, wait, that's what I wanted. See, she has long hair. And remember, I had the one girl, she had the braid. I don't know where I put her. I have no idea. In here somewhere. And I'm going to put the pictures here. And then there are more words. And that's actually going to be my downfall. I always use more words than pictures. And so sometimes they get mixed out. And it can be a little bit too much. I overwhelm my posters with words. But at the end, it does make sense. Okay, and sometimes I'll have to trim a picture every now and again, but, you know. And then I'll put the word this. This is going to always go at the end. Things to do, I think. And this is Julia Robertson. Sometimes you choose a picture like I did with Lupita. I choose this picture. I don't know, maybe it's because of her smile. Maybe it's because of her happiness. And even if she doesn't look like me, it's just the joy that's on her face, right? And then I look at the back and I go, okay, so they have no correlation. So this could be something for like intense, you know, concentrate. You can be a warrior, and I don't want to be that. I want to be softer. So I think that's the point. I want to be kinder. I want to be happy. But she has an inner strength. Though this could be a kung fu master, and she is beautiful. She could be a geisha, right? But either way, there's beauty in that. But that is also beautiful. Just pure beautiful, you know? I appreciate natural beauty more than I do makeup. Even if I wear makeup, then this is also short hair. This is a blowout. She had freckles. And these beautiful rhinestone earrings. My goodness. Beautiful. Beautiful earrings. Okay. So I think, now that I think about it, let's see, the art of you. I'm going to put this on this side. Do. Right? So in this picture, there's a gentleman's foot right here. And do could be I do. Maybe I want to get married one day. The art of you, which could be the natural side of things. To celebrate. To be happy. To have that kind of closeness. So I think sometimes I'm going to look at a picture and I'm going to say, yeah, I know I cut out the whole entire picture, the big part of the picture, but I don't think I want his shoulders in it, because I think the person I marry is going to have their own shoulders. So I don't really want somebody else's shoulders in there when I don't know who that is. But I do believe it was the hand that I was choosing. So the closeness of the hands. That they're not holding hands, because I'm really not a fan of PDA. But the fact that they were close enough to still be touching, which shows that they do have affection for each other. And then it's also not a wild, dramatic display like the rose is here. So I'm thinking probably I want someone that has a view of celebrating things with me, but also has the subtleties and respect and knows that there's a time and place for everything. This kind of looks like my son a little. So maybe not, because I guess I have a type, but I don't know. And my son is beautiful, but I have a tendency to prefer a different color skin. So yeah, that's cute. You can stay over there. This is another one. Oh my gosh, when I saw this picture, I fell in love with it. That's why I cut it in a heart shape. Just the fact that he's talking to her, and it makes me think like just look at that, the intense look. She's like, I know you ain't looking at my man. And he's like, oh wow. You know, and then it's just cool, because a sad note was me and my ex-husband, even if we were like that together, he would always have his eyes looking out, almost kind of like, well, are you seeing me? Do you see that I'm with my wife? Even if he pretended to kiss me on the forehead, he was always looking somewhere else. This is really the kind of relationship that I am looking for, that there is an intenseness where it is that he really cares about her, to not look at anybody else. So that's a very important key point. Yeah, so there's the subtleties. There's the subtleties. There is the respect that you have in a relationship. How you feel about her is how you treat her. I want to maintain my own, my desire to be loved is the same as anybody else desiring, wanting to be loved. It'll be intense. It'll be, you have to be sure of yourself. But really, if you're not sure of the relationship, then be patient. Be patient. Take your time. Understand what it is that you're looking for. Understand if you're ready or not. And if you're not, please don't rush it. Please, because you cannot re-choose your mate, honestly. Oh, gosh. This is, everybody's going to look at it and it's like, what is that? So that's his eye. And he was looking down. And you know who this looks like, okay? But since I have that picture, and it just shows the intensity of how he feels about her, I think this could be not making any sense in the picture. But I suppose it could fit in the picture, but it just doesn't. I don't know. I think, oh my God. It's very, very intense, though. It's very, very intense. Like, if you look at it, you're like, what's he looking down at? And then you kind of feel a certain kind of way. So I might, I might put it in here. Maybe. But I'm I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it because, see, this is, yeah, my actual ex did have brown eyes with long eyelashes as well. But that's not the reason why I like that picture. Not at all. Um, this is, I don't know if y'all, it's so funny because sometimes you look at the movie stars and you go, can you recognize just by looking at the small details? This is Charlize Theron. Is she beautiful? So the hands, I used to usually do this often. The bare shoulder, I cannot actually do because I have freckles on my shoulder. Some people use makeup and stuff like that. But this could be actually part of the art of you, the natural look as well. The part I want to feel more comfortable about, the part that no one else gets to see, but I will learn how to accept. So that's also, so you have your sections. You want to keep it sectioned off, and there's a reason why. You want to really recognize that your goals are going to be separate. They will not integrate sometimes. Sometimes they will have nothing to do with each other. Okay? And you want to keep it separate that way, because if you say, oh, I must be here to find this person, you most likely will not find that person, because there's not always going to be that person in that right place, right time, even though we say it, even though we feel it, even though we want it. Sometimes it's just a different time, different place. This is also another one. I guess I'm going to trim this off so it can go right here along the edge. The palm trees, the Rolls Royce, the champagne glass. I don't want to cover the Rolls Royce because I'm a love that old-fashioned car. Ooh, just ride it once. Beautiful. I'm going to move the 43 over. And I'm going to put this wine glass here. The champagne. The rain in Spain stays mainly in the play. Plugging in Hepburn over here. Alright. I have the Vion Rose here. I don't know if I want to put that here as like an intense rose. Oh, here's the long trenza. Right, her hair. Yeah, fierce. I think I don't like long bangs, but the long bangs usually come with the long hair. And I think, most people have short bangs. This is actually the commercial that the advertisement that she's in. I love this, actually. This is a very, very empowering picture. Very confident. And this could be something of accepting as well. It's just her power stands, right? It's very elegant. I'm thinking probably right here. I might have to trim it off at the bottom. I just don't want to trim off her hair though. How about this? I'll put the 43 over top. I love curls, though I don't have any. I have just like a few curls that grow on the front. But yeah, I think I keep 43 like this. Yeah, see, so you come to find yourself looking at it, moving it around. I'm going to adjust this. I'm going to trim this off. Funny that there's a fold right here. I'm going to trim this off little by little and see what things I like. And again, this is a really long video, so sorry about that. I hope you guys are enduring the best that you can. This is like a really cute picture. I love the fact that she's got straight bob. It's so pretty, and this was actually in harmony with this. But honestly, that's the short hair that I have right now. This is the fancy. Right, this is the whole outfit with the long heels with her turned in knee. Gorgeous outfits. Intense, these heels. Excuse me. I do love a cocktail dress, though. I ain't even gonna lie. I love cocktail dresses. I don't like it riding up so high, but I like the idea of it. I just don't want to see somebody else's legs and stuff. So maybe just this part. Yeah. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll trim this part off. Glamorous is beautiful. And I think it's a nice look. I think it fits here very well. The palm tree can go up a little bit. Rolls Royce. And there you go. And I will worry about trimming it at the end later because like I said, I adjust my pictures. I move them around quite often. Now, look at what I'm forgetting, y'all. This top part, right? So what is it that I have to put at the top? These are usually where I put my words. Okay? Things to do, this, contents, moves with you. Those are the things that, so like, moves with you. The words I usually do at the end because I want the pictures to kind of be in their place so that when I put the words where they belong, they go with the pictures, and I know that they didn't belong with each other here. And I still haven't even looked at everything. But I'll show you in a second. I'm going to glue things down. And, oh, let me show you how I glue things down as a matter of fact, so that you don't wonder. Okay, here we go. I'm going to open this up, right? Now, Lupita is definitely staying at the bottom, right here at the end. I'm going to lower it just a little bit. I'm going to put, once it comes out, you don't want it too thick of droplets until it's actually exactly where you want it to be. So I'm going to put a really light line, and I mean light line, okay? Make it stay where it is. It's not going to move right now, okay? Then I'm going to see where the other spots are. Let me see. I might put the champagne glass just a little bit higher, right there. Okay. I might end up trimming this off a little bit at the bottom as well. Pull this back up. Okay. Again, a little line. You don't want to put it on your other pictures yet, because just in case you have to tuck anything in there. Mind you, I'm coming off of the page, okay? I am literally doing the art off of the page, and at the end I'm going to trim it, and you'll see how it frames. Okay, now I know this is the bottom part here, so I'm going to move this. This is going to definitely be here, but check this out. Do you see how this edge is? I have to trim that. That's why I don't put a whole lot in the beginning while I'm gluing it down. I do want this to be at the end. See, some of them I can come off the side, and some of them I don't want to come off the side. These words, I'm going to trim this off too. So this part, I'm going to trim. I'm going to get a little bit of the flowers off. It's okay, because I've got flowers on the cobblestone here. Okay, and then you're going to have some glue, so make sure that you have a napkin if you're afraid it's going to get on any of your clothes. Yeah, we don't want that. Even though you can have a bib, kind of. What are they called? The aprons, which is very helpful. Okay, let me put that there. Right? Because, you know, there's nothing wrong with deciding for yourself what you want. Just keep in mind, you're making a vision board for yourself. It doesn't have to make any sense to anyone else but you. Okay, so now I kind of want this to be a little bit smaller again, And I don't want to cut off her elbow necessarily, but I am going to trim it ever so slightly. I don't want her elbow entirely off, because obviously it belongs to somebody, right? But his hand, her hand, just that glaze, that touch. Right? I'm not going to put that too far up. I'm going to wait until this one is glued in. Now this, actually I might move this down here. Now that I think about it. Okay? Always think, always process. So I'm not going to glue this down yet. Remember, I don't want her legs showing. So I'm going to do this one up here. Sometimes you have to actually turn it around, which is kind of odd, right? Because you think, oh, I can work like that, but nope. Sometimes you have to turn things on their side, just as long as you remember not to move it too quickly, because then things will start moving out of place. So this is the same as that, if you can see it. These are rose petals, but I want the top part over here, because I want the whole driveway to be rose petals. Yep. And she is dressed really fancy. I love that door, though. If you see it, it was a glass door. It's a gorgeous glass door. But it's not even really on there. And see, she has a power stance, too. See it? I don't want to cover the Rolls Royce. Oh, hold on. I did it wrong. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. A little bit of palm tree can come off. And there's a reason why. I think palm trees are beautiful, but I don't necessarily want to live where there are a lot of them. I mean, I liked Florida when we were there. And this space, whew. I loved Florida while we were there. It was just very, very hot. And then there were times that it actually got cold, which was really surprising to me, because I hadn't really been there in the wintertime. But we did live there. Me and my son were there for 8 months. And it was nice. Let's see if I can get this glass door in here. Let's see. I'm hoping. Yeah. No. It's going to end up getting cut off. Darn. Okay. Wait, can I? Nope. That's right. I also don't like to leave gaps in between. Sorry, I'm a little particular that way. I'm going to put this in there after I do this part. So I'll show you guys a little bit more afterward. Okay. All right. So now getting back to the 43, I haven't decided how I'm going to put it, here or there. But honestly, I don't know. So right here, this is pretty much how it is right now. It is not done, not in the slightest. What I'm going to do is, so that I don't glue any words on the extra parts, because when I have to trim it off, I don't want to cut off the words that are going to have such an intense meaning. So I'm going to trim these pieces off, and then I'll see what I'm working with, the frame. And I'm sure I'm going to think, oh man, I shouldn't have cut that off, but that's how it goes. It's not like living and learning and making mistakes is not a normal part of life. Hello, it's part of life. But usually when you looked at it enough and you measured it enough, and if you make sure that you didn't glue it all the way down until you were ready, you should have pretty good framework. That in that trash bag, now it's becoming trash itself. And then there are some things that I was thinking maybe I should get another picture from the magazine, but I'm going to work with the ones that I have right now, have set up. So this is just 2 things, and this 2 different lives, I'm telling you right now. One is for me personally, and one is for relationships. Now I have the words, the art of you. Okay, I have the flowers of coming out of the cracks. I have the music from the jukebox. I have belle, which is beautiful, right? I'll keep these here. I have a whole bunch of different words. Okay, motiva. I think I'm gonna put that. So like motivation. I'm gonna put this here. Eventually, I'm going to have to think about what I want in this space. But right now, I'm going to leave that kind of blank for the numbers. I'll find another picture. I have love, but you know, you see this and you already know that it's love, so there's no real reason to put it there. I did find this, women of worth. I love the idea of us being, as women, part of a family, a group that are strong, united. But also I find it to be very interesting that sometimes we're up and arms at each other. So I think that it's probably best if I just leave it at that. You know, women of worth is just love all my sisters and all my brothers. I know you guys are strong, and if you guys are doing this too, then love you guys too. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you have to put something like this just about your specific, you know, your specific race, not your specific culture. This is Paris, you know, this is LA, this is different places, actresses from different places of the world. But I think all of it is beautiful, and all of it teaches you an intense lesson of humanity, and we all feel, okay? This is just a hand. I don't even know why I have that hand there, but you know, just the same as I have his eye here. I did find a spot for it. Okay, the word beautiful. Okay, these are the one things that I will definitely be using these words. Able. This is why it's a strong thing for you to do this, because I do have problems with self-esteem, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And if you ever have, let me tell you, this does help. It's not going to take away any sort of depression that you might have, but look, it helps you to get through the day, and it helps you to understand how you're feeling. Give personality. I kind of like that, because it's kind of like, you know, give a little fire. I like that part. So, and if you see her face, she's very intense, this woman. So I'm going to say give personality, because you are who you are. But also, you know, you can make changes and stuff. Then this is, I feel sexiest when I am on a date night. So I think that's okay. I like the whole entire thing. I don't know if this whole entire piece is going to fit. So I can just put date night. Because when you're married, it's nice to have a going out. Somebody, babysitter, watch the kids. And let's go on a date night. Let's go on a date night. So I do have an engagement ring here. It's gorgeous. That's ginormous. I'm not sure if I would want something so intensely heavy on my finger. That doesn't necessarily work for me, but you know how it goes. Plus I don't know. I like these studs, see? Small studs. Plus, personally, I like different color stones. But I am going to put the picture in just as an idea. Where's it going to fit? Where's it going to fit? Maybe over her big old giant bracelet. Not on the door. Her stands. Not on the Rolls Royce. Yeah, that's okay. That works. Give more than a gift. Your first, you know what? Your own. Love it. Like it. I don't know. Do you like it? Maybe. Do you love it? I don't know. Your list. That's definitely going to go here on the top. Your list. The art of you. Actually, I'm going to put this at the top here. Yeah, because it's your list. Okay. Just for self. I'm not normally selfish, so for self or just for self? Just for self. No. I don't know, because I don't normally like to be selfish. See, that's where the conflict of yourself comes into play too. So sometimes people be like, yeah, just go ahead and put it in there. No, if it doesn't feel right, you don't have to put it. Just because you cut it out doesn't mean that you have to. Oh yeah, tis the season, y'all. Okay, in this season, will I get married or will I be my true self? How about I become my true self and then I get married? So how about we like switch places with it? But sometimes circle, right? So you are here, you work on yourself, and then you can come back around. Sometimes it works that way. Your eyes have to do it. 'Tis the season. And it's got to have a football, which is like, hello. The music is your own. Without him, wedding. It should be a question mark. But a wedding would be beautiful because that's actually, my sister kept saying, oh well, if I get married this time, I hope I can be at the wedding. Yeah. Well, wedding dot dot dot. Let's see if I can have a proper wedding this time. Love and marriage. Again. Okay. Chic. That chick. This season. Yes. See it? This season. 'Tis the season. Right here. This season. I'm going to put it right in the middle. Y'all have no idea. This is going to really change things in the next year, believe it or not. Okay, this was funny because it was a play on words and letters, and I don't understand why this makes me happy. But it says, and I want you to sound it out. What is the D and the 8 equal? Date. Ain't that nothing? And life-altering date. This would be like the first time that I've ever was able to like breathe and be happy. Somebody who makes me feel whole. Somebody who has an interesting muse. I remember hearing that word, but I want it to come natural, not forced. I want it to be not so intense. They say there's something about regulating your nervous system, right? See, I'm a very natural person for most part, for the most part. So I just want love to come naturally as well. Real, something real, intensely real. Yes, it can be intense, for sure. But I also want it to be genuine. And I think moves you would be better. Instead of moves with you. Or like now it's making me think of the song, when you dip, I dip, we dip. When I, maybe. Moves with you could be sort of that, kind of that idea. Moves with you. But if I don't like the with, then I can take it out. Nat. I've been called Nat by someone. Bebe also. Are you on? Is this thing on? I think that has to do with confidence. Are you on? Are you ready? Are you prepared? Actually, I think I want it on this side, because it does have to do with confidence, but it also has to do with making a transition and choosing different for your life, making new decisions. Okay, gorgeous. Oh yeah, period. All right, the word is gorgeous, period. Do I feel that way about myself? Absolutely not. Sometimes I don't even think I'm even pretty. So let's not even go there. So when you see the word, you feel the word, you know the word, you are the word. Or you become it anyway, kind of. You learn how to feel what you say to yourself, I think that's what they say, right? And not to say it's like you speak it into existence, because that's actually not true, because I can say I want the sky to turn purple, and it doesn't turn purple when I say it. But when you're the total package, you can finally kind of cause yourself to not think negatively, even if that's what you feel initially. Total. The total art of you. I love that idea. The art of you. The untold story. That's actually kind of cool. I'm gonna put this on pause because it's about to be an hour, y'all. Okay, after 58 minutes, I'm going to show you the finished product. Don't judge it. Yours will be different than mine. I can explain it to you, but I won't. It means a lot, though. And it means that you are able to do something that's going to motivate you to make all of the best choices for yourself. Wish you all the best. Love you. Celebrate life, love, and laughter, and self-sustainability, self-sufficiency, hard work, endurance, and admire the ones who care the most about you, and heal from pain, be patient, and keep loving people even if they don't love you back. Because deep down, I think the people who say they don't love you, they love you more than you think. All the best, y'all. Take care.